Hi, everybody. Rick DiClemente with Astrology Unplugged number 150. Welcome to the show tonight. Tonight's going to be lighthearted. We're going to talk about Christmas, which is fast upon us, and how to shop for people according to their sun sign or the predominant energy in their chart. I'll start off by reminding you that next week is the Reverend Greg Keene, who will be with us. He is the medium from Lilydale. And then on January 9th will be Leanne Fortunato Hetzel. And she'll be talking about the quantum us, the part of us that's quantum. Very hard to explain. That's why we'll let her do that. Anyhow, I get a lot of questions about shopping and by sun sign, etc. Now, I want to remind you something. I'm going to be talking about getting ideas from your sun signs for shopping ideas. But remember, like my brother, for example, he was a Pisces, and he had 5 planets in Aries. So for him, he would follow a lot along the Aries line. So none of you are just your sun sign, okay? And you need to keep that in mind. So a lot of you are a mixture of this sign and that sign, and when I talk about one or another, it may help you. If you feel like you want to chip in, just unmute yourself and join in the talk. And I want to display something here. Let's see here. Okay, that's on. All right, now we'll go back here. Okay, and we will share. If you want to join us, I know a lot of you are watching this on YouTube after it's been posted. Join us on any Thursday night. You're welcome free. 8 to 9 o'clock on Eastern on Zoom. We get to the link by going to starself.com/unplugged. That's how you get to join us. Otherwise, this is shown in replay on YouTube the next day. Okay, so when the basics of the book behind me that we wrote, The Exquisite Zodiac, the book is not like most books. The book is not lighthearted look at the sun signs, which much of astrology has become. The book centers on going down to the real essence of each sign. So what I want to try to do is to talk about the real essence of the person. And in other words, you'll be able to take the suggestions from tonight and add it to what you know about that person and perhaps come up with a good clue. Let me give you an example. If you're going to buy a gift for an Aries, of course, you're going to be looking at what you know about them, what kind of things they're into, etc. But if you follow that up with a deeper knowledge of how Aries people are very daring, they love to pioneer, they love to be out front, they love to put things on the table. I've often called them the hood ornament on a car traveling with no brakes and with no mirrors, because it's all go, let's go. Go ahead, let's go. So anything that you would buy for an Aries, keep in mind they love adventure, they love to challenge themselves. Now, that would lead me to thinking that a lot of them are into camping, but you can't make that generalization. Maybe some of them are not. But a lot of times, what you want to do is find out what the Aries are into, because they're surely going to tell you about it. Aries is all about testing themselves and being enamored with themselves. Ooh, look what I did. Ooh, look what I did. So they're not going to be a mystery to you to find out what they're really into. Now, they may be very spiritual, they may be very calm, they may be very unfiery. That depends on the chart. But the basic Aries is very adventurous. So any kind of gift certificate for them to go on a hike somewhere, to get into some private grounds. They may be into hunting. They may be into camping. anything like that would really be down their line. Some of the things I came up tonight, some of the things I came up with, I think that are rather generic. They would work for most signs. I think one of the hot items this Christmas is going to be DNA reports because they're down to like $49, which is really cheap. And within a few weeks, you can get back. I thought all my life I was Italian, and I found out I'm from Georgia. That most of my ancestry is from Georgia, and very little from Italy, and very little from Lebanon. So that would be a shock to my parents. Another thing I think would be good that's happening, they're mostly computer related since technology is dominating. I got a gift from one of my cousins once who was really into it, a subscription to Ancestry.com. That's a really nice gift. And you can get it for 1 year. That won't kill you financially. And then that way you find out if they're into it or not. And if you hear them, especially Cancerian people, and the Aries might like the exploration of that. So the Aries is all about exploring, being out front. They usually like to go on boating trips. They like to hike. They like to ride bikes. They're usually very dynamic physically. Okay. Other things I thought of that comes up this year, and I think another nice idea for people is for the right person, a subscription to National Geographic. It's very, really top-notch photography, as you know, and really good articles for the right person. Another thing, two other things I came up with for all people, essential oils, because they're becoming more and more a commonplace item, and there are all kinds of essential oils, and they're not real cheap. They're not $5. They're more like 20 or 30, but it's a nice gift price range. Essential oils, and we have a finger waving from our healer, from Karen, who wants to warn us about something.
Just be sure you know what allergies they have.
Okay. Check out their allergies. Very good. Thank you. Coming from Karen, she means that. Now we got one coming from Susan. Go ahead.
Be careful if you have animals, especially small animals, birds, cats, small dogs, because they may be very sensitive to some of those oils too.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because we have recently taken, you see him walking around here all the time, Stuart, who's had some problems with beating up his sister all the time. And we put in some pheromones here on his collar and found out that it was too strong for him, and the pheromone's supposed to calm him down. But after a while, just having the collar in the same room with him, he got enough of the pheromones. He definitely has changed in the last 2 months. He is less aggressive. He'll start a fight with his sister, but he'll stop it quicker. Where he was getting overly aggressive there for a good while. So I can see your point. Also, I took him off of meat. Now there's meat in his diet and the dry food, but he was a maniac for his wet food. And I just did other than what the veterinarian said, and I took him off the meat. He was gaga for meat, and he was just killer diller to get his meat sauce. So he's a lot better, and he's a lot calmer. Okay, so we're going to be opening the lines up to whatever you have to talk about. Now, so that's the spirit you want to do with Aries. You want to get them something that helps them to become enamored with themselves. So this idea of a DNA report is a really good idea for an Aries too. Other things I have on the list in general to keep in mind are CBD oil. We've been having phenomenal results with it as we get older and get stiffer joints. Phenomenal results with the CBD oil, but we're getting really high quality stuff. You got to check out what you're buying. It's really recommended. Of course, I'm not a doctor, but it's really recommended that you give it a try anyway. Alexa's Some people are really pro, some people are really against it, but she may be down your alley in terms of what she can do for you. One of the greatest ideas is an astrology reading from me, because I got it on sale right now. And no, you can't buy an astrology reading gift certificate for yourself. But if you want to buy a gift certificate for somebody, between now and the end of the year, my price has gone down for my nice 70-minute readings, gone down from 150 down to 105. If you'd like to get a reading, a gift certificate for somebody before the year ends. Also, last on my list in general are just CDs. CDs are awful good things to get, thinking about what they're into. Hello, Linda. Okay, going to Taurus now. Now you got to shift gears every time you go from one sign to the next sign, which is what that book is about. You got to shift gears because the element changes, the quality changes, and you've gone from one sign to the next. Taurus is very patient, very dug in. They love old things. They love antiques. They love things made of leather, things made of wood, things that are going to last. This is the sign of being planted, of being rooted, of being anchored. So anything that's good with gardening, helping them with soil, with plants, they're a very good idea. Also, Taurus is the sign of collecting, values, coins, etc. So if they do stamp collecting, coin collecting, whatever it is, you may want to check into that and get them something that they really value, because they're the expert sign of the zodiac when it comes to valuing something. Susan Avere says, antiques, history, awesome. Yes, very good. But I know Tauruses that they just get a favorite chair and they never get out of it. When you think of Taurus, think of the first thing you see when you walk into the Smithsonian American Museum. Comfort, yes, Erica, thank you. The first thing you see when you walk into the American Museum Smithsonian is Archie Bunker's chair. Archie and Edith's chair, the first thing you see. The second thing you see is the 60 minutes watch going tick, 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 tick. But that chair of Archie's is so Taurian because it lasts forever. Don't dare sit in his chair. That's his chair. That's because Taurus loves things they're simple, they're pleasurable. Any food item, money. Give them money. They love money. Okay. Massage, mani-pedi, pedicure, luscious bathrobe. Real good ideas we're getting. In case you don't see this, if you're watching on YouTube, while we're doing this live, we can see each other's names and we can send comments back and forth to each other, which are not visible to the ones watching on YouTube. Yummy food and wine. Boy, Erica's red hot tonight because she is a Taurus. Concert, dinners out. Okay, we're getting out of the range of Taurus now. So comfort's really good, nice blankets, nice shoes, but they like leather products. They love things that last. Okay, now you shift to Gemini. You're an air sign, you're mutable, communication. So high-tech stuff's really, really big. Really, really big with Geminis because anything that helps them communicate, anything that helps them get into the mind, books are great ideas, CDs are great ideas, electronics that help them communicate, novelty items between here and there. Geminis are big on it. So if you can explore like novelty shops and find something unique, they go nuts over that. That's a real good idea. Geminis are typically lighthearted. They love novel things that are new and unusual. But you don't want to give them deep books on psychology, and you don't want to give them any music by Wagner. You want to stay on the lighter side. But I'm getting there. I got Susan of Air plugged in tonight. You might as well come sit with me. She says humorous books on humor. Very good idea. Watch how every sign changes so dramatically. Cancer. Okay, things for the home. Very sensitive. Not everybody can afford a laptop, Carolyn. That's a good idea, though. Cancer, when you go to their homes, they're always very comfortable. Blankets, pillows, cushions. Things are kind of just cushy and relaxing. So nice lotions, of course, not for the Cancer guys, but home things. These talk about DNA reports, ancestry work. Wonderful stuff for a Cancer mentality. They love family trees. They're just obsessed with family trees. Things that you can do to help them along the line, such as the Ancestry.com. Old photographs that you can resurrect. For a while there, Marcia, but you remember this, for a while there in the 70s, I took photographs of people. I blew them up to 3x5 feet, and I sent black and white. It was $3.50 per black and white poster. So I sent a poster to everybody of a picture I took of them or us. What a marvelous gift that is, because you don't think about it usually. But a great big poster, and you can even go to Staples and get them on foam board. Melt them on your wall.
Send them in a tube. You sent them in tubes.
Sent them in a tube, that's right. I took a picture of me and Marcia crossing the ferry.
Delaware, on the
Southern by Cape May.
The Delaware Bay.
Yeah, the Delaware Bay. That was good. So that's a real good idea. Take a picture that's special to somebody and get it framed. Real good idea. So with Cancer, it's the family, it's the background. It's really not something global. It's anti-global. It's the opposite force. It's my surroundings. Leos fix fire. Fix fire means they're exuberant. They can't stop themselves. They need to create. It's amazing. Yeah, mirrors. I talked about mirrors before. I've done joke items before in my newsletters. It's not so much. It's kind of a misnomer that Leo is the sign of being self-centered at the center of the stage. It can be that way, and that happens with a lot of them, but that's usually because of a misunderstanding. The real essence behind Leo is that I'm no longer going to be timid. I'm going to come out, and I'm going to roar, and I'm going to have self-confidence. And the more attention I get on myself, the better, because that gives me confidence in myself. But that's a fine line between that and becoming arrogant and becoming center stage on everything. You have to keep an eye on that. But Leos love concerts, they love expression, they love musical instruments, they love theater. It's amazing as an advanced astrologer, as the times evolve, you'll still go back to the Leos. And the Leos really in their heart, what they really want to do is create. They want to create. They're ruled by the sun. Comedy show. Take them to a comedy show. That's a real good idea. But they really want to express themselves. They love to see other people express themselves. They're not really much up for sad, weepy movies, etc. They're upbeat. They like gift certificates for places to go, such as a comedy club or some kind of show. Good idea. Real good idea. Libra. Jewelry. Libra, jewelry. Jewelry. A woman, get them jewelry. Don't you dare buy them a pot or a pan. You'll get hit with it. Don't you dare buy them a pot or a pan or a hammer. You're going to get hit with it. If it's a Libra, it's got to be jewelry. If it's a Libra male, get them some nice clothes, a nice fedora, a nice hat. They're classy people. Whatever you get them, it's got to be beautiful. It's got to look good and feel good. You don't buy something practical for Libras. Oh, I skipped over Virgo. How could I do that? We'll get back to Libras. Was that a Freudian slip? I don't think so. Let's go back to Virgo by all means. But in between Leo and Libra is Virgo. Virgo, the guys really like practical gifts, like a hammer or a pair of pliers. Yes, you'll do very well at Home Depot or Lowe's to buy stuff for the guys. They're very practical. They're really proud of their work, their workmanship. The Virgo women are very much into the essential oils. They're into purity. They love things that are clean and pure. They love Bath and Body Works type of stuff, but not too perfuming. Okay? Concentrate on the part of it that's cleaning and cleansing, maybe even a cleanse that you can buy for people. Did you have something, Carolyn? Did you have
Me?
something?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of, with the Libra, I like the nice clothes and the jewelry, but yes, clean is very, it's mandatory. It's just
Mandatory is right. Okay, we'll get to Libra in just a second. With Virgos, remember that I got to the end of the book and the Virgo chapter was done, and I was very unhappy with it, even though it was well written. It was all about the same old Virgo perfectionism. And I kept thinking very deeply. Liza and I did a lot of work on Virgo. As I look now, the cat's on her lap cleaning herself. Virgo is about purity and caring. Purity and caring. Whether that caring is, many of them end up in hospitals working as nurses aides. Many of them work overtime at their job, whatever it is, without whining or crying about it, because they know the job must be done. They care about what they do. They don't understand other people that don't care. They cannot understand other people that don't care about what they do. They can't fathom it. So, I don't know what you could get for them in that arena, but whatever you get for them, they're going to kind of refuse it anyway, because they're real bad, just like Capricorns. Virgos and Capricorns are the worst of the zodiac at accepting gifts. They just don't like compliments, and people stop giving them compliments because the Virgos and Capricorns are too humble or whatever it is. They don't like being made center stage. With Virgo, it's because they just came out of the Leo stage. That's why that is that way. Crystals to cleanse their chakras. Really good ideas. The crystals and the nice stones are real good ideas, especially for Taurus and Virgo. Really, really, really good. I've noticed the Tauruses love that kind of energy. Moving on to Libra. The Libra feminine is almost always jewelry, something to make them more beautiful, because they're really just really the beauties of the zodiac in general. With the men, of course, you can't go buy them a nice Maserati, but you can buy them a nice sweater, some nice clothes, something. They want to look good in public. They want to be in style. Don't dare give them something that's out of style. Don't even think about it. It's got to be in style for that. Like the doctor's hat tonight. We're looking at the doc, and she's got her hat on. And she's a Virgo, but what's on your sign tonight? The doc always has a sign for us. What's it on? Kindness. Kindness is your Kindness is the word. Okay.
That's Mr. Rogers. I saw his movie this week.
Yeah.
It changed my whole outlook. He was a nemesis to me. I couldn't take him as a child. But finally, I've opened my heart to his words as sincere revelation they were.
And we're very proud that he's from the Pittsburgh area. Thank you
A
very much.
Latrobe. Me too, yes.
I'm going to have to go see that with Tom Hanks. Thank you. Okay. So the Libras are into beauty, things that make them feel pleasant. They like nice music. They could like classical music, but they like music, things that have class. Okay? Now this one you wouldn't believe. This one is I've been doing my warm-ups on this before the show. This one's giving me a harder time than any of them. And I thought that Scorpio would be easy, and it's not. We can't just go think about sex items, no. Scorpio is much more than just about sex. Scorpio is about passion and about intimacy, and don't dare give them something cheap. If you're going to give them some really good of quality, because they're purist. They expect greatness from themselves. The water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, they're the ones of the zodiac. You might give them something really little, and it might mean a lot to them. I've been of the mindset for a long time. I know it's out of sync with the people of 2019, but I've been of the belief for a long time that all gifts should be made. And for a long time, I made wooden signs for people, wooden Christmas signs, and carved words into them. And of course, you have to start now for next year, but you can even see the evolution. Now people don't even want to wrap a present. They just want to throw it in the bag and put that tissue paper right on top of it. There's your present. We're just in such a hurry. For what? So the water signs really appreciate the thought and the feeling behind something. So you should be able to sense what means a lot to them. What means a lot to Scorpios. They're usually very passionate, very powerful people. Their likes and dislikes are usually black and white. They usually love something or they hate something. Maroon is a real good color for them. Deep reds, scarlets, reds, crimson. Very good color for them, whether it's a robe or whatever. Now, moving on into Sagittarius. This was an easy one to do. Scorpio was really, the black. Thank you, Erica. Black, things that are black for the mystery of it. For Scorpio. In Sagittarius, it's the sign that has the bumper sticker that says, if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. So get them a ticket to do something fun. They love having fun. Listen to a Sag, and they will say the word fun in every 3 sentences, every 3rd sentence. They will. Gemini will say the word interesting in every 3rd sentence. I'm not making this up. You will hear that word in certain signs. Fun, fun, fun. And I don't know about you, but when I come back from a funeral, the last word I'm thinking of was how much fun it was. I'm just making a little fun here. But Sag is just really, really, I'm not saying they're insensitive. They're not insensitive, but they just really lean towards having fun. They're fiery and they're dispersive. They're immutable. Give them a fun book. Give them a fun movie. Take them to a fun show, etc., etc. The males and females are similar. They have great sense of humor. Get them an X number of rides on a horse, Susan. This is no happenstance that their symbol is the centaur, who's half horse and half human. Sagittarius love horses. Get them a ride on a horse. You can't buy them a horse. Maybe buy them a horseshoe, but give them a ride on a horse. Give them a ride on a boat. Give them a gift certificate to do something fun, to go skiing, etc., etc. Boy, we just change so much when we go through the zodiac. Now we get down to, I'm running fast, but that's okay. We'll fill it up the way we fill it up. Capricorn, a sign that's very traditional, a sign that's very misunderstood. Capricorns love history. They love things that are old. They love antiques. They love things that are classy. It's a very classy sign. They don't usually like the frivolous. They don't usually like things that are too colorful. They're more into the earth tones of brown, green, yellow. They love things such as the history of the family. They love that. They love, one of the main things, I read this somewhere and it became a dominant theme when I wrote the chapter on Capricorn. One of the main needs of Capricorns is to belong. And you wouldn't necessarily ascribe that from cardinal leader, cardinal earth. But if you think about the Capricorns, these people love to belong, okay? So a membership to something, a subscription to something, such as we talked about the subscription to National Geographic. Most Capricorns would love it because it ties them in with something more solid and goes way back into history, the traditions. Okay, now we get into the last two signs of the zodiac. The most fun one of all, I got to be careful because she's sitting in the room with me. I got Aquarius. I told Eliza, she's an Aquarian. I told her anything that connects your right hand with your left ear, I buy it for them. I don't have any idea what it is. Get them weird stuff. You ever go through these magazines and they just got this off-the-wall stuff and you go, well, who in the world would ever buy that? Well, that's what you buy for an Aquarian. Especially if it's well thought out, if it's got to do with the environment. They love it. Get them a book on, I remember an Aquarian friend of mine, she got all kind of books on the Audubon Society. They are not about nature. They just love nature more than any other sign in general. Okay? They are very much loners. They're very satisfied usually with just the way they are. Permaculture, yes. So anything that you can do to, one gift that would be really nice for an Aquarian is give a donation to some cause with their name on it. Very idealistic people. Also Sagittarians, probably the two signs that are the most cause-oriented are Sagittarians and Aquarians. That's a generality, but it's probably pretty close to true. Make a donation for whatever XYZ and put their name on it. They're happy as can be because they're very generous, very idealistic sign, very underrated. They're so content within themselves. That's why they're not talked about much. Everybody talks about the Libras and the Geminis, and they overlook the Aquarians. You think about the Aquarians in your life, or people with strong Aquarian traits, they're very unto themselves. Fixed ideas, fixed air. They know what they think. They have a good worldview that they've thought through. There's usually something in their life that they're fanatical about. If you find a band, some unusual bands, unusual CD, where there's just not the typical Fleetwood Mac. It's got some really interesting novelty to their sound. Usually Aquarians are very open to that. If you want a real treat, Never Gonna Change My World. He was Moon in Aquarius. That was Lennon. John Lennon was Libra and Moon in Aquarius. Anyhow, get them stuff by free thinkers. Get them art by free thinkers. They don't like the tried and true and cautious and careful. They're the opposite. They respect irregularity. They respect unorthodox. They respect going it alone and really being yourself. Another sign I felt that was very difficult. Yes, good stuff came out. Another sign I felt was very difficult to come up with answers tonight is Pisces. Pisces is a very misunderstood sign, very peaceful inside. Their motto is nothing matters. So how do you buy something for somebody that their motto is nothing matters? Well, you have to put it in perspective. What it really means is don't get all upset about this or that. Don't get all hyped up about this or that. Nothing matters in the scheme of things. A simple flower could be beautiful for a Pisces. A simple piece of jewelry. They all of them love dolphins. They all love dolphins. Okay, if you can get him to swim with the dolphins, if you can get him a statue of a dolphin, give him a sweatshirt with a picture of a dolphin. They love to swim. They love the water. They love boating. Very good ideas for them. They are very unpredictable, but they will take 90% of the gift is what's the meaning behind it. Because they're very sensitive. And if you're just giving them a gift just to give them one, it's not going to be that much of a success. Go together with them and volunteer to help serve other people in need. Great idea, Kimma. So I'm going to open up the phone lines because let's talk about the people you got to buy for. Let's see what we can stir up. We got at least 15, 20 minutes left. And it's a hard subject, but if you dip into what the nature of the sun sign is, it will help you to get some ideas anyway. So who's got an idea? Susan, anything distressed her? Susan is talking about to de-stress, get rid of stress.
Pisces. I don't know if I'm muted.
No, you're on live. No, whoever just mentioned a good bottle of booze, I'm not going to forward that one because that's one of the biggest problems with Pisces is enjoying the booze but not becoming alcoholic.
Well, my son's a Pisces, and I got him once or twice. I got him a ticket to a float, which is that sensory deprivation stuff. You lie.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, he loved that. He also loves this indoor mountain bike park that he goes to around Cleveland. Anything that is a total de-stressing thing for him is exactly what he needs.
What a great idea, because they're unbounded. They love being free. I love that idea that you can buy a ticket and do the float.
Yeah, oh yeah.
How long, 1 hour?
Yeah. Yeah, you got. There's no way I'm climbing into a thing and closing the lid over my head.
Oh, I'm there, but I need 6 hours. I want to go 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not taking Tai Chi. I want to take Tai Chi, but I don't want a 1 hour class.
Oh,
maybe an hour. Maybe an hour to warm up. I need 3 hours.
Yeah, Tai Chi can be exhausting.
Kim says you can leave. Kim says you can leave the lid open.
Oh,
what fun is that? Who are two people that spend a lot of time in those? George Carlin, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
George Carlin spent an enormous amount of time in the tank. John Lilly. John Lilly became famous in the 60s writing about the dolphins, how intelligent they were. And he was led one thing after another. He's passed away by now. He wrote The Center of the Cyclone. He ended up, one thing led to another. He ended up writing immensely about sense deprivation tanks and writing books on it. He even has a book called Deep Thought, I think it is, that tells you how to build one. And he goes into all of his experiences. In other words, when he went into the sense deprivation tank, he entered another dimension.
Right.
Okay, it's almost even impossible to talk about. But he encountered networks of beings all throughout the universe, and it was a doorway because it was so quiet. You were so undisturbed by the monkey mind. Somebody raised their mind. Somebody raised their hand over here. Was it Erica? I can't remember who it was. Thank you, Susan. Come on, Dr. Kim. Let's see who's on your shopping list, Dr.
Well,
Kim.
my shopping list is my brother-in-law Aries.
John Lilly.
I mean-
His name was John Lilly. Lilly. What's your say, Kim?
Well, my brother-in-law is Aquarius. He is in my sister Pisces.
Oh
who was
boy.
raised with all of us Virgos. I mean, yeah. So.
Oh boy. That's typically when you're 5 signs apart. That's a quincunx in astrology. Typically when you're 5 signs apart, like Aquarius is from Virgo, there's just nothing in common. It doesn't mean you have to dislike. Doesn't mean you have to dislike them, but your basic natures, the earth and the water don't match up. The signs don't match up at their essences, and what the Aquarian finds they get a kick out of is exactly what the Virgo finds the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
you know, they both have their beauty, like all signs do. But what are you thinking of buying the Aquarian?
I mean, I like the idea about nature, something that's a permaculture, something with a cause, because I know he's into that kind of stuff. I don't get it, but I could see where if I made a donation, he would be into that. That would
exactly
mean something.
Exactly, they're very, very big. Carolyn, did you raise your hand, or that's just your finger on a button? Carolyn, you're on.
Oh, hi. Yeah, no, I was just, you're discussing Aquarius and Virgos. My dad's Aquarius. You described him to a T. About, strange, weird gifts. He talked about, he should go back and get a degree in architectural, romantic sculpture. My Gemini basically said, who in the hell would want that kind of degree? It's useless. And then my father would say, oh no, it's fascinating, it's interesting. And I could understand, if you had all the...
Who is the Gemini?
Mother. Lois.
Okay, well, the Gemini's learning is horizontal, and the Aquarian and the Scorpio are vertical. Aquarius gets into something, dig, till they master it. And they won't master it. They won't stop till they master it. The Geminis, oh my God, how can you waste your time when you could be over here, you could be at this party, you could be over here, you could buy this, you could go here. See, that's what they're different.
Yeah, you described them, both of them.
Yeah, but see, what's so interesting about that is that I described them to you. What's so interesting is so much of us comes to us as an expression of these archetypal natures. Who are we really? What are we really? Our ego likes to think we're so special. I'm Rick. There's Marcia. Okay. But why do all of us Capricorns have similar traits down deep? All of us Libras, similar traits down deep. What we're getting to, and it's happening, is we have much more in common than we think, and we're much more attached to the collective mind than we think. That's why, since the 21st century came, that's why we got 80 new planets. That's symbolic that we're opening up to much more energies. And get ready, everybody, because people are going to start giving you the end of the decade, just like they did with the end of the millennia. This is not the end of the decade. When you count to 10, you count to 10, not 9. So the end of the decade will be a year from now. So people will be seeing the 19 change to 20, and they're going to be talking about the end of the decade. I hope we don't have to see shows on that, because the decade is after 10 are complete. There. Okay, who's got an idea or a thought, or somebody that is on your list that you're not sure? What about you, Linda? You got anybody that's perplexing you and you're trying to figure out what to buy?
Well, my gentleman friend is a Virgo, and it's not that he doesn't appreciate things, but first of all, he doesn't, if he wants something for himself, he buys it.
Right.
So he just, if he needs it, if he thinks he needs it or he wants it, he just buys it. He just orders it and it appears at the door. And, you get him things, and he's very, thoughtful about saying thank you. And then you never see it again because it's.
Where that comes from, Linda, is, one second, Karen, I'll get to you. Where that comes from is Virgo is so charged with being self-maintaining, just like Aquarius is. It comes from me because I didn't lean on anybody to get it. I don't lean on people to get it, okay? But it can be a fine line between that and being closed.
Well, he leans on the closed end.
No, closed.
Closed. I mean that.
It become closed, okay? Because you're putting so much pressure on you to have all the answers yourself, just like Aquarius does. But anyhow, you can always bet on the fact that the Virgos are really caring people. They're pure hearts, and you have to say, you got to nudge them and say thank you.
Well,
Okay.
one thing we've done for birthdays is that we've decided we're not going to buy any more gifts. But what we do is we just, because our birthdays are within 30 days of each other, we're going to do one big experience and then split the cost. And
But that's just too practical.
I know, but it's nice for me. It's practical for him, but it's nice for me because then I don't have to rack my brain to think about what thing he won't want because I'm.
Yeah, what's the key word for Libra but compromise?
Yes, exactly. But what's good is when we plan these things, almost always we go someplace that I'm going to be delighted by. Like for my birthday, he took me down to this safari place in Myrtle Beach where I got to pet baby tigers. It was just the greatest.
I saw your pictures.
I mean, that was just so great. And he had a really wonderful time too. And we got to ride bicycles at the beach. And so whatever he said he wanted to do, I just said, yeah, we'll do it. Because you know how Libras are like that. We can go with that flow. But that way I don't have to think. We can be thoughtful and pick something nice together, and we don't have to think about it.
Well, I would imagine they're thought about it, but they are a hard sign to buy for.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. Hard. Tell him to get you jewelry.
Well, he does that, but the other thing, he's just an extremely good gift giver. I mean, he finds that he got me a foot massager, like a big one, like you put your feet in and turn on the electric, and it does your whole leg and foot. I mean, for a Libra, that's like that's like heaven.
Bliss consciousness.
You know.
Okay. Karen's been politely waiting. Thank you, Linda. Go ahead, Karen.
I have a quick suggestion.
Yeah.
She could come up with something incredibly practical. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm in that Leo Virgo thing, and I found a chopper. I watched a client use it, and it's wonderful. It's just the right size for one or two people. It's quick. You can clean it up. I mean, it's not a big that's right. It's not a big anything. It chops onion and it purees meat. It's just incredibly practical, and every time I use it, I just get so much joy out of it. I know that sounds crazy.
That does not sound crazy. That sounds wonderful, but don't you dare buy that for a Libra woman. She'll hit you with it.
No, I was thinking of her for him. Does he do his own cooking? See, something like that, because it's real quick. There's only 3 pieces to clean, and yet it's perfect because it's little. It's a ninja.
Oh, there's ninjas.
It's a quick cut or something. I hadn't seen one. They're very small, and you can take an onion and chop it about 3 different ways and throw it in there, and it just does a wonderful job with it.
Yes,
Great.
yes, folks, you're listening to Astrology Unplugged, and tonight we are definitely unplugged because it is the season. Thank you very much. If it comes from Karen, it's got to be top notch because she does her homework. Let me tell you, she does her research. You got to go to her house. It's just full of research, books everywhere. There's a kitty cat.
You know what I've been doing? I'll share this because it's wonderful. There are a bunch of free online courses that are in healthcare, but they're cutting edge and they're alternative. And I've been spending, I'm not going to tell you how many hours a day the past week, but I have learned so much and it's been wonderful.
Well, that's magnificent because you're really knowledgeable. Marcia, what's that cat's name? Is that Lillian?
That's Cece.
That's Cece. Thank you, Karen. See, what sign is Cece?
Cece is a Taurus.
Oh, yeah? Does she like her regular place to sleep?
Oh,
Right.
and yeah, she does. And she also will only drink water from the bathtub.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that before. She looks like she's very content.
She's an alpha, though.
Oh, she's an alpha.
Oh, yes. She's feisty.
Yeah, we got alpha issues here too.
Mhm.
Erica, what's on your mind this Christmas? Susan, is that the chopper? Susan Rivera she says, yes, it is. There it is. I feel like we're doing a commercial tonight. Look at that.
No,
Not the one that
No.
the one that Karen's talking about. So this is going to turn into a
Well, on my mind this
Proper word.
Christmas is not buying gifts because I don't have a job and so I don't have any money. But I'm good at making things and I have people to say thank you to, my teachers, classmates I won't see. So, I'm thinking about things like that. And
Carolyn says
I
you can write.
wish I had money so I could donate. So there's so many great things to be donating out there, but I've got to get a job in 2020.
Oh boy, well, let's not bring it up in 2019.
Sorry.
Somebody said cookies and somebody said write them a letter. Okay, anyhow, we're having good fun here. I'm going to cut it off now with the YouTubers and thank them for joining us. And see you next week with the Reverend Gray Keene, 8 o'clock. He'll be talking about and giving readings to people with mediumship. Thank you for joining us from us Unpluggers.